Hello everybody and welcome back to Medieval Dynasty. So we're going to try and get our initial stuff set up so that we can actually bring in some new villagers. We're also going to try and get a little bit of farming going because it does take some time. We've got seasons that things have to be done in. Really quickly though, we're going to drop off. We've got some stuff we don't need to carry around. So we got some extra unripe berries that we don't need. We got a bunch of feathers, fur, leather, straw. We don't need to carry around. Oh, I accidentally picked up the. Oh, going too fast here. Leave that with us. We'll go ahead and keep the rest of the food on our person, the stuff we want to eat. And coins, they have no weight anyways. Mostly I'm just trying to get our weight down a little bit. Spears do weigh a little bit. A lot of them don't have a lot of durability left though. An extra hammer. Okay. I got some weight out at least. Actually, really quick, let's go ahead and lay out a road. Rows are a little weird. They center around this little stick as we build them. Big enough for like a front yard there? I think so. Let's see. House kind of goes this way. We've got a big rock there. Cancel the road. Sticks. Maybe we'll just go in. We got two rocks here. We'll just go in between these two rocks on the main road. Oh, got rid of the rock. Good to know. There's our initial road in from the main drag. And then nothing also will grow in these places, so it's a nice, easy path to walk on. And let's extend this out a little bit here so we have kind of an area. That's fine, we can go to an angle. Things don't have to be perfectly straight. So I think we got a nice flat spot in here, so we'll probably plan on putting some of our storage sheds down in this area over here. There we go. That'll be kind of towards hopefully the center of what our future town will be. And then future fields will probably be off in that direction, but we don't need to like lay roads for those right now. Yeah, really bright bloom going on. Bright sun today, I guess. Anyways, so I'm going to make a run back to the main town, and I will see you guys when we get there. Okay, so we're back near the main town now. I just kind of want to give an example because I saw them. These are the cat's tails that I was talking about that do not make straw. In this case, there is some reeds mixed in within them, but these cattails do not work for anything. They are just scenery. So don't be fooled by the cat's tails. It does look like they were nice enough to add some reeds in with the cattails. But yeah, just be aware of that when you go to build things. So one of the things we need right now is a little bit of money to kind of get our farming going, because we'll have to buy our initial seeds. And after you buy your initial seeds, then you have kind of self-replacing seeds as you go. You'll get more back when you harvest them once you planted. So a trick to get some of that initial money is we are going to craft some hose. I did notice, by the way, that our dirty symbol went away. I'm wondering if my previous one walked into the water. How it is. Oh, this one got us 4. Is this a different kind of tree? No, maple. I don't know why that previous maple tree. Maybe I missed a log. Aircraft hose. The other nice thing about them is they are lighter than the materials that they. So you can see the encumbrance is going down as we build them. And unless it's changed, there is no diminishing returns for selling the same thing over and over again. So as long as the vendor has money to purchase, they will buy them at the same rate. So let's test that really quick. And it doesn't matter what vendor, you're going to get the same rate for everything. So we'll innkeeper here. We'll shop with them. We're going to sell hose. We're going to get 10 coins a piece, so we get 40 for 4 of them. Their total purchasing power, you can see right down here at the bottom, is 1,579. So we can keep doing this until they run out of money. And then if we happen to buy, say, food from them, then their money pool will go up and we can sell them more things. So we can just kind of exchange like those for food, so to speak. We're going to keep doing this a little bit. And get some money built up. And we'll jump back in when we have a little bit of a person. Okay, so as we were chopping here, we leveled up in extraction. We'll go ahead and increase that skill really quickly. So our 2 options here are increased chance to find items while digging clay pits, 50% more resources recovered from destroying structures, or extraction knowledge, just more XP from extraction activities. Seems like a good basic place to start, so we'll go ahead and add a point into there. We'll probably go into durability of axes next, just because you use them so much early on. Alright, we'll go back to chopping. Alright, so we have enough to get started now, at least. I'm going to go ahead and grab what we need for seeds. So everything has growing seasons. And right now we're in summertime, so the only thing that we can actually start a crop on is cabbage. So we're going to go ahead and grab 10 cabbage seeds here. And ideally, we would just grab some manure, because it's actually cheaper than fertilizer. It takes 2 manure to make a fertilizer, so we save 1.5 coins per. However, we don't have a barn yet. So we're just going to grab pre-made fertilizer. It takes 1 fertilizer for every seed that we put down. We're going to go ahead and grab that. And that will give us everything we need to start a little cabbage farm. All other things take other growing seasons, so we have a little bit of time to kind of build that back up, build up our coin, excuse me, in order to get the next piece of the puzzle as far as farming is concerned. We did level up in production while we were making all those hoes, so increased experience. Sewing, I would definitely wait on sewing. And increased gain from tavern workstations. This is not any cooking. This is specifically in a tavern. So I think we're going to go... Well, we're going to do a lot of cooking long term. So, yeah, we're actually going to level up in the tavern. That'll probably be used more in the workshop early on. All right, I'm gonna run back to the house really quick, and we'll get a little farm started. I ended up coming back to town really quick because I failed to get one important tool, and that is a bag. Without a bag, you can't sow the seeds, you can't spread the fertilizer over the fields. So made a couple more hoes here. We're gonna sell them so we can buy just a simple bag. You can make this pretty quickly in the workshop with just some leather. They're easy to make, but I don't even think we can build a workshop yet, so just to speed it up, made a couple more hose. Takes 6 total to be able to afford it, so not a huge time investment. A little weird to use, but I'll show you when we start farming. So we're back near the house, and confirmed, I just watched it happen. As you walk into the water, your dirty meter does actually go down. So until you can build a wash basin, apparently just wading through the river will clean you up. Also, I was thinking as we're running over here, another important thing to keep in mind, auto-saving does not typically happen. So you do get some auto-saving that occurs when you're like a season changes or something like that. And I think there's a couple of story missions that trigger it. But other than that, saving only occurs when you actually save. If you die, you're going back to your last save point. You're not like respawning at the nearest checkpoint. It's actually a game over type thing. So keep that in mind. If you're going to go out and do dangerous adventures and you don't want to redo some stuff, definitely something to consider. All right, let's get our farm going. So we want field. Putting there. 2, 4, 5, 2 wide. All right, so there's our field. We actually need our own hoe now, so we can start turning this land. So we got 3 really quick. Make ourselves a hoe. Timber. How you do farms is up to you. There's you can of course use the same field and juggle them for the seasons, or I personally find it easier. It doesn't really cost you much of anything extra, or doesn't actually cost you anything to doesn't cost you anything to build the field. So personally, I prefer to just build a field per type of food that I'm growing. I think it's easier to manage and keep track of and make sure things get planted. But it's just a personal preference thing. Right now we're doing the initial clearing of the land. Okay, so now we've got it plowed. We've got our little 10 by plot here. So here now is where the bag comes in. So we need to equip the bag. 5 there, so let's go to number 5. Now, you can see that there's a sow option and a select seed option. Now, it's already selected fertilizer for us, which is nice, but select seed is important because it does include fertilizer, and this kept me from growing the first time that I played. I could not figure out how to get fertilizer because it kept defaulting to the onion seeds that I had. So step 1 in our growing process, we're going to sow fertilizer. Oops, wrong button. We're going to put fertilizer onto all of our field plots. It takes 1 per plot. So every place that you're going to plant seeds requires fertilizer. And then we have to then use our hoe again and plow the field. back to our hoe. And you see the color of the ground changes. Looks like nice, rich planting soil. That's exactly what we want to see. And there we unlocked our food storage. Perfect. That's what I was hoping for. Last one. Alright. 5. Let's switch back to our seed. And now we're going to select our seed. And you can see here, it shows the growing seasons as we go through them. So right now, cabbage has 2 growing seasons. Plant in spring, harvest in summer, and plant in summer and harvest in autumn. So that's kind of nice that we're going to be able to harvest immediately next season. So now we're going to sow our seeds. Get a lot of seeds, but you only get a couple cabbage per plant. Visually makes a little bit more sense when you are planting like the wheat and stuff like that. But it has the same exact seed animation, at least for now. They may change that in the future. I don't know. We're still early. Alright, so there we go. We got our little cabbage patch planted there. So that'll be growing us cabbage next season. So once we change seasons, these will be grown and we'll be able to go and harvest them. And then if we look back in our seeds here, you can see we're going to be going into autumn next, so we'll be able to plant wheat. Just wheat. So wheat will be the next crop that we can plant. I am going to try... Oh, and rye. Rye as well. Interesting, it's only showing that rye can't be planted this season. Huh. Flax is extremely important, just because it's used for all of your early thread materials. And then carrots and cabbage are the 2 that have multiple wheat. Carrots, cabbage, and wheat all have multiple growing seasons, so you can, keep them up often. Need our other oat roll here. Keep our food up. Alright, so the next thing we're going to want to build is our food storage. So, food storage isn't that big, but it's very important. I think we'll put it right over here. Kind of the end of the road, leave us room for another house next to ours. But the food storage is super important because let's go for our speeders away so we have a little more bag space. But that's where all of your villagers go and grab food from. If you don't have food storage, then you have to deliver the food to their houses. But if you actually have food storage, then they will just go and pick it up automatically. Oh yeah, we've got a bunch of meat here. We want the logs, we want the sticks. Go ahead and cook our meat real quick. Early on, all you're going to be able to do is roasted meat. Eventually, you can make soups and things like that. That's where making the vegetables actually comes in handy, and eventually having the tavern as well. So I guess it's nice to have the cauldron now. The advantage of the tavern is that you can have a villager assigned to it, and you have someone who farms the food, and then it'll automatically go into food storage, and then you have the person working in the tavern who will automatically grab from food storage and make meals. So that way you can kind of automate the feeding portion of your villagers' needs. Just becomes like a little meta game of, getting their needs met with food, and then with firewood we'll have to eventually do, and other things like that. As a player character, you don't consume firewood, but all of your villagers will. our house fireplace just seems to be magic and doesn't require any fuel. Okay, so let's get our food storage built. That's a barn. That's not what we want yet. Oh, I don't know if you noticed, by the way. I was looking at the seeds for orchards. Really, really expensive. That's why I haven't done them before. They're like 200 plus 300 coin for a single tree in an orchard. So we'll get there eventually, but definitely not the point that I wanted to start at. Okay, animal husbandry, farming. Nope, couldn't be extraction, couldn't be hunting. Storages, there we go. Resource, food storage, 8 logs to start. All right, so we are going to have some heavy bags. We have to have 8 logs in our inventory. Oh, and there's resource storage. Resource storage is probably one of the biggest pains because it requires so many logs just to lay down. More than you can carry. And so a little trick that you can do is you can say, I got these logs now. I can go into inventory now, and I can just drop them on the ground here. So if you drop them all in one stack, they'll go into one stack. Like this one's 3 logs. So we'll have this ready to go since we'll put our resource food storage right here. Eventually you get so heavy that you literally can't move. So the best you can do is, this is another reason to be on flat ground, is to run up to the spot and drop the logs and then go harvest more and come back. So 2 more trees here and we'll be able to put this thing down. The 2 basic buildings that you need to kind of run your village is you're going to want the resource storage and you're going to want the food storage. Resource storage is everything that's not food. So all their firewood, any clothing, like bowls for making soups and things like that, all of those are coming out of resource storage. And then as your crafters make stuff in the various different areas, then they'll be dropping stuff into your resource storage. Let's just go right there. That'll work. And we got a couple of stumps here that we can harvest later. Okay, building mode. We have an immediately broken hammer. Okay, but we have another one. Have more sticks for this wall. Go grab that straw here in a minute. Obviously, harvest more logs. Oh, that's stamina. And then some buildings do have interior structure that needs to be built. So both the storage buildings do require some extra logs in the center. I'll grab our straw really quick. And there is a disadvantage to these wattle walls in that they're not strong at all. So there's an advantage to building like stone or building, log plank walls, but the resource requirements are substantial. And so I definitely don't recommend trying to do that off the bat. I would wait until later and do upgrades to the buildings instead. And when you can do the upgrades, cool. But you're going to be doing the upgrades when you have people living in your village helping you out. And sometimes they get stuck. There we go. I'm looking forward to when we have a shovel, because there's going to be so many logs right around our house and stuff. We just have all these stumps all over the place. And we're out of log. Downside of another one about falls. And falling trees, they don't hurt buildings, they don't hurt you. So that's nice. You don't have to worry about like what direction the tree is falling or anything like that. Always makes me nervous. I feel like I should run away from them, but they don't actually. Definitely interesting now that they've changed this mechanic on how dirty works. You get dirty way faster. Last wall going up. Roof piece. Just side pieces. Notice there's a whole bunch of mushrooms around here. I'll show you in just a second. Some of them are actually really good. If you look here at this moral mushroom, you see this one just provides food. Doesn't cause any poisoning whatsoever. There are definitely mushrooms that do cause poisoning. They make up into really good stews. There's a couple of particular stews that are nice and nutritious that require mushrooms. So mushrooms are actually a pretty good staple. Ideally, just have a villager gather them eventually. Oh, we need a lot more logs than I thought. So far, there's also no that I'm aware of. Like NPC combat, all you're dealing with is wild animals. So the palisade walls that you can build are really just decorative. They're not actually defensive in nature. So they're important as far as like keeping your villagers happy and making them think they live in a good and prosperous town. But other than that, they don't serve any real purpose. I'm not sure if I want them to change that or not. Like, it seems like a cool thing, but it could get annoying. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think we need like 5 more. Definitely plan for appearance items, you know, bowls and cups on the tables in the tavern, and you know, benches and stuff around, yards marked out by fences, you know, lanterns to light the street. Long term, these things are all important. Ooh, the boar's back. Might have to go boar hunting. All right, time to finish off the building. Oh, perfect. All right, so we got our food storage complete. It's got a standard chest, just like the other one. Advantage of this chest, it's much bigger than the house chest. It'll hold a lot more. And also, any food that villagers gather if they're just going out gathering mushrooms, or if they're farming or whatever, they will go immediately into this house, into this storage lot. You don't have to do anything. And I think that's the most important piece of it, is it's essentially automated. Okay, then we got our food storage, and then we'll end up building our regular storage over here, I think. We'll go ahead and do that next time. Thanks for watching.